Hi guys, I'm back, kind of. Well, basically, I want to make this video before I start trying to make other content as kind of a life update because I did disappear for like over a year out of nowhere and I didn't actually really say why. I know, like, I initially I was like, I shouldn't overshare on the internet, but then I realized you guys don't actually know me in real life, so that's okay because technically I'm just a stranger, and anything that's ever happened to me, I can tell you guys because it's not like you guys will personally know the people that I'm talking about or anything. Either way, yeah, I love to overshare, so here we go. So I disappeared at the end of 2024, if I remember correctly. And essentially, what happened was, if you guys been on my account for a bit, you might remember I was dating someone. Well, at the start of 2025, we broke up, and like it happens. It's not. There was a lot of things, but it's just life. We were friends for like all of high school, and then we started dating for 3.5 years. That was like basically the start of our adult lives, and there was just personal growth to be had away from each other, basically. And so that happened, and I stopped posting like a bit before Christmas, if I remember correctly, because that's when it was like getting really bad, and I couldn't really focus on my other account anymore. But the breakup happened, and I'll be lying if I said it didn't kind of make me force myself to kind of reinvent myself. But it was very forced, and it was a lot of, trying to be optimistic and not trying to get disappointed again and whatnot. Unfortunately for me, that meant kind of abandoning all my old hobbies and interests, and a big part of that was my other account and MLBB. There was a lot of other games, but that was one of the main ones I did play with this person, and so I just couldn't really interact with that. I was like forcing myself to like other new stuff, but then yeah, that's kind of it. And not to mention, in general, the MLBB space, like the fandom, and then especially the company, like all the new revamps and skins, surveys, and stuff like that were really starting to bother me, I'd say. Like the creative route that they were taking was really not it, and I will want to make an extra video talking about that. I think there's a lot I can say. I think I could literally make one video about one new revamp and why it sucked for like 20 minutes straight, probably. But either way, so it was two things. It was basically, there was a big change that had to be had in my life, and then also I was just getting really burnt out from the MLBB space artistically. And then unfortunately, I would have wanted to come back, but then my life decided to take like the worst turn. Like 2025 was probably the worst year of my life, unfortunately. And so it started off with the breakup. I was trying to stay optimistic, kind of trying to be a new person. Unfortunately, it wasn't a clean breakup. We got back in contact and it became very toxic, and it was really draining me, like badly. Because ultimately, we were like each other's best friends for like years, like 7 years or something, including the time we dated, but even before then. So this was someone who knew so much about me, and I knew so much about them, and we understood each other more than anyone else could. So even with the breakup that happened, it was hard to break that bond. but I knew why we broke up. There was trust that was broken. There were things that they could never do for me. There was things I could never do for them, and like it was clear why. But we kept in contact, and we wouldn't get back together, but then we'd still be talking every day, every second, kind of basically acting like we were still dating. And it was like really messing with my brain, like really badly. And basically that just made me a very, very depressing person to be around. I was very negative. I was always so sad about it. I was always so stressed over it. And because of that, I lost a lot of my friends. I just wasn't a good person to be around. So they didn't want to deal with that anymore. So they told me they didn't want to be my friend anymore. So I lost a lot of friends that I also had from like years ago in high school, and who I was also very close with. And then, wow, 2025 was really horrible, seriously. Right after that, I had a job that I had for a few years straight, like 4 years. It was around 4 years by that point. And I was really attached to this place. I had so many regulars that I knew for years. I knew like personally, and even like the staff were also close. But then there was like a whole issue with management and like changing the boss and whatnot. So I ended up just quitting because there was just too much drama happening over there, and even the people that I worked with were saying it's not worth staying. So I had to leave the place. I was like the one place I was going to where I still had like decent human interactions, basically. So I became unemployed. I had no purpose because I know no one to hang out with, and the one place where I could at least kind of feel sane and productive because I'm working, I couldn't even go there anymore. And then as this is all happening, I had a family member that passed away, and like it was kind of, we all knew it was going to happen. So my mind was already I was already accepting it basically. So it wasn't like a huge shock, but either way, I was still very sad. And then my family had to go overseas to sort out everything got to do with that. So I was home alone for months straight, kind of like I had nowhere to go, I had no one to talk to, no one to hang out with. I was kind of being driven insane by loneliness. But eventually I made it out. I'm still here, so, you know. And the whole time I did do art, I did draw, but it wasn't anything productive. It was normally just Van's art or like random, just scribbling. And every time I do that, I just like, damn, I want to share it. I miss that community because back in high school, when I was really active on Instagram, I know I was always just posting random shit art and, you know, just like stupid stuff, like yaoi comics and whatnot. But it really did help me back then. I don't know where I would have been without that community. And like, I know it sounds sappy, but seriously, like, it helped me a lot to have these people who would tell me that they liked my art, that it made their day, and just anything like that. Just even like the stupid like little stories I'd post with like the little question stickers, and I'd just chat with people. So in my desperate loneliness last year, I was like, damn it, I do want to go back to my art account. But every time I go online, I was always lurking, guys. I was never really off. I was always back on my art account just scrolling, pretending I wasn't active. I wasn't obviously active often. Like, I'd just go on every once a month or so just to see what's up. And then I see these skin surveys or these revamps, and I'm like, whoa, I really don't want to go back. The game sucks now. Creative. I can't talk anymore, but you get the point. But eventually, I don't know, I just really missed it, and I I don't want to make art like anything stressful for me. I'm just going to make what I like. I'm going to ramble if I want to on this account. And obviously, I know the community kind of dead recently. And so if this video doesn't reach a lot of people, that's okay with me because I'm just doing what I want, which is rambling and posting. And if even just one person enjoys it or doesn't, it doesn't matter. Like, um, I want to do what I enjoy, right? So basically, I'll probably make videos about a lot of things I don't like about ML, unfortunately, because there's a lot of things I've been disappointed with recently. And even before, like before I even left, like a bunch of revamps that happened, a bunch of skins that happened, just the direction that the game is taking. But then I also do want to talk about things I do like certain characters that I really enjoy deeply from lore perspective and design perspective and whatnot. So that's what I want to do. I'll probably still mainly be focused on making comics and random ship art because I've just always enjoyed that the most, but that's kind of where I am right now. I never want to come off like I'm complaining and oh, like boohoo poor me because I know I come from a place of privilege. Ultimately, I had a roof over my head and whatnot. So this isn't, I don't want this to be a pity party. This is truly just a life update. And I'm okay now. I think I'll be okay. So, if you watch this, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.